Over 80% of winter car breakdowns I've seen could have been prevented with simple maintenance. Did you know cold weather can drain your battery by 60% and drop tire pressure by 1 psi for every 10 degrees? Today, I'll show you 10 essential winter car maintenance tips that'll keep you safe on the road. And at the end, I'll share a bonus tip most mechanics forget to mention, one that could save you from being stranded in freezing temperatures. Let's go! Tip number 10, check and replace your battery. All right, let's start with the most critical component in winter, your battery. Cold weather is brutal on batteries, and this is where most drivers typically make a mistake. They wait until the car won't start on a freezing morning, and by then, they're already stranded. Here's the thing, batteries lose about 35% of their power at 32 degrees. Drop that to zero, and you're down 60%. That old battery that struggled last summer, it's not making it through winter. Now, here's what you need to do. Get your battery tested before winter hits. Most auto parts stores do this for free. If your battery is 3 years old or older, pay close attention. Anything below 50% capacity means replacement time. Check the terminals too. Corrosion stops current flow just as much as a weak battery. Clean them with a wire brush and baking soda solution, then coat with petroleum jelly to prevent buildup. A good battery is your first line of defense against winter breakdowns. But even the best battery won't help if your other fluids aren't ready for the cold. That's where the next tip comes in. Tip number 9, switch to winter-grade oil. Your engine oil isn't just lubricant, it's protection. And in winter, using the wrong oil can destroy your engine before you realize there's a problem. Here's what happens. Motor oil thickens when temperatures drop. That thick oil doesn't flow properly during startup, which means critical engine parts run dry for those first few seconds. I've seen engines with scored cylinders, all because someone ran summer weight oil through a brutal winter. Now, pay attention to your oil's viscosity rating. That number on the bottle, like 5W30. The first number with the W, that's the winter rating. The lower that number, the better it flows in cold temps. For most winter climates, you want 5W30 or even 0W20 in extreme cold. Here's the trick. If you're running conventional oil, winter is the perfect time to switch to synthetic. It flows better in freezing temps and protects better during cold starts. And don't forget to actually change your oil before winter hits. Old, dirty oil is already breaking down. Add cold temperatures and you're asking for trouble. Fresh oil, correct viscosity, and you're protecting your engine when it needs it most. But oil isn't the only fluid that needs winter prep. The next one is just as critical. Tip number 8, top off antifreeze and check the mixture. Here's something that surprises most drivers. Antifreeze isn't just about preventing your engine from freezing. Get this wrong, and you could crack your engine block overnight. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Temperatures drop to 10 below, the coolant freezes, expands, and splits the block wide open. That's a $3,000 mistake from a $15 bottle of antifreeze. Now, here's what most people don't understand. Antifreeze needs to be mixed with water at the right ratio. The ideal mix is 50-50, antifreeze to water. That protects down to about -34 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's how to check it. Get an antifreeze tester from any auto parts store. Pop open your radiator cap when the engine is cold, insert the tester, and draw up some coolant. If it's not reading at least -30 degrees, adjust the mixture. Top it off if it's low, but use the correct mixture, not straight water or antifreeze. Also, look at the color. If it's rusty or has particles, flush the system and refill with fresh coolant. Your cooling system works harder than you think in winter, but there's another system that works even harder when temperatures drop, and most people completely ignore it until it fails. Tip number 7, inspect and replace worn wiper blades. Most drivers don't think about their wipers until they're stuck in a snowstorm with blades that just smear ice across the windshield. By then, it's too late. You're driving blind, and that's dangerous. Here's the reality. Wiper blades wear out fast, especially if they've been through a hot summer. The rubber gets brittle, cracks, and loses its edge. When winter hits with snow, ice, and road salt spray, those worn blades can't keep up. You end up with streaks, gaps, and zero visibility at the worst possible moment. Now, here's what you need to do. Inspect your blades before winter arrives. Lift them away from the windshield and run your finger along the rubber edge. If you feel cracks, tears, or rough spots, replace them immediately. And listen, don't just buy the cheapest blades you can find. Get winter-specific wiper blades. They have a rubber boot that covers the metal frame, preventing ice buildup that can lock up regular blades. I've used them for years, and they outperform standard blades every single time. Replace both blades at the same time, even if only one looks bad. They wear at the same rate. Good wipers are your eyes in a storm. But even perfect visibility won't help if your tires can't grip the road. That's where the next tip becomes critical. Tip number 6, check tire pressure and tread depth. Your tires are the only thing connecting your car to the road, and in winter, that connection can mean the difference between safe driving and sliding into a ditch. Cold weather destroys tire pressure, and most drivers have no idea it's happening until it's too late. Here's what's going on. For every 10-degree drop in temperature, your tires lose about 1 psi of pressure. So if it's 70 degrees when you last checked, and now it's 20 degrees outside, you've lost 5 psi. Underinflated tires reduce traction, increase stopping distance, and wear unevenly. Now, here's the right way to handle this. Check your tire pressure at least once a month in winter. Do it when the tires are cold, meaning the car hasn't been driven for at least 3 hours. Your owner's manual will tell you the correct PSI. Don't go by what's printed on the tire sidewall. And while you're checking pressure, inspect your tread depth. The legal minimum is 2/32 of an inch, but that's nowhere near enough for winter driving. You want at least 4/32, preferably 6/32 or more. Here's an easy test. Stick a quarter into the tread with Washington's head upside down. If you can see the top of his head, your tread is too shallow for safe winter driving. Don't forget your spare tire either. Nothing worse than getting a flat in freezing weather only to find your spare is deflated. Proper tire pressure and good tread keep you planted on slippery roads. But there's something under your car that's just as important for winter safety. Tip number 5, inspect your brakes thoroughly. Winter driving means more braking, harder braking, and braking on surfaces that give you zero forgiveness. Worn brakes in winter are a disaster waiting to happen. I've had customers slide through a stop sign on ice blaming the weather, when really their brake pads were down to the metal. Here's the thing. Cold temperatures affect your braking system more than most people realize. Brake fluid absorbs moisture over time, and that moisture can freeze or boil at lower temperatures, reducing braking power right when you need it most. Now, here's what you need to check. Start with the brake pads. If they're less than a 1/4 inch thick, replace them before winter. Don't wait until you hear that metal-on-metal grinding sound. Most shops will inspect your brakes for free. While you're at it, have them check the brake fluid. It should be clear or light amber. If it's dark brown or black, it's contaminated and needs to be flushed. And pay attention to how your brakes feel. If the pedal is spongy, sinks to the floor, or if you feel pulsing when you brake, those are warning signs. Both need to be fixed before winter weather arrives. Here's a detail most people ignore. Test your brakes on an empty road before the first snow. Find out how your car stops on slippery surfaces when there's no emergency. That knowledge could save your life when conditions get bad. Good brakes are your safety net in winter, but even the best brakes won't help if you can't see where you're going at night. That's where the next tip makes all the difference. Tip number 4, test and clean all lights. Winter means shorter days, which means you're driving in the dark more often. Add snow, fog, and road spray to the mix, and visibility becomes critical. Dim or dirty lights don't just make it hard for you to see, they make it hard for other drivers to see you. And that's when accidents happen. Here's what most drivers overlook. Your headlights aren't just about lighting the road ahead, they're about being visible to oncoming traffic and cars behind you. Now, here's what you need to do. Walk around your car and check every single light. Headlights, tail lights, brake lights, turn signals, and license plate lights. Have someone work through each one while you watch. If any bulb is out, replace it immediately. And here's the part people miss. Clean your headlight lenses. Over time, they get foggy and oxidized, cutting light output by 50% or more. You can buy a headlight restoration kit for about $20 and do it yourself in 30 minutes. Also, clean the lenses every time you fill up with gas in winter. Road salt and grime build up fast and block your lights even when the bulbs are fine. Keep a rag in your car for quick wipes. Bright, clean lights keep you safe in the dark. But there's one fluid most people forget about until their windshield is covered in salt spray and they can't see a thing. That's where the next tip comes in. Tip number 3, use winter windshield washer fluid. Here's a mistake I see all the time. Drivers fill their washer reservoir with water or summer fluid, thinking it'll work just fine. Then temperatures drop below freezing, the fluid turns to ice, and they're driving through a salt-covered windshield with no way to clean it. That's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Here's what happens. Regular water or summer washer fluid freezes at 32 degrees. When it freezes in your lines and reservoir, it can crack the pump, split the hoses, and even break the reservoir itself. That's a $200 repair from a $4 bottle of the wrong fluid. Now, here's the right way to do this. Before winter hits, completely drain your washer system. Don't just top it off with winter fluid. That dilutes it and raises the freeze point. Run the washers until the reservoir is empty, then fill it with winter-rated fluid. Look for fluid rated to at least -20 degrees Fahrenheit. In extreme cold climates, get the -40-degree stuff. And here's a detail most people miss. Winter washer fluid isn't just about freeze protection. It's formulated to cut through road salt, ice, and grime better than summer fluid. That means clearer visibility when you need it most. Keep an extra bottle in your trunk too. You'll go through washer fluid fast in winter with all the salt spray, and running out in the middle of a storm is the last thing you want. Winter washer fluid is cheap insurance for clear visibility. But even with a clean windshield, there's something under your hood that can leave you stranded if you ignore it. That's where the next tip becomes essential. Tip number 2, check and replace worn belts and hoses. Cold weather is brutal on rubber, and your engine is full of rubber components that are working overtime to keep things running. Belts and hoses that seemed fine in summer can fail without warning when temperatures drop. And when they fail, you're not just inconvenienced, you're stuck. Here's the reality. A broken serpentine belt means no alternator, no power steering, no water pump, and no air conditioning compressor. Your battery dies, your engine overheats, and you're done. Now, here's what you need to inspect. Pop your hood and look at your serpentine belt. Check for cracks, fraying, glazing, or chunks missing from the ribs. If you see any of that, replace it immediately. Most belts should be replaced every 60,000 to 100,000 miles. but cold weather can accelerate wear. While you're in there, squeeze every hose you can reach. Radiator hoses, heater hoses, all of them. They should feel firm but slightly flexible. If a hose feels hard, brittle, soft, or spongy, it's on its way out. Here's the trick I tell my customers. If your car has over 80,000 miles and you've never replaced the belts and hoses, do it before winter. It's preventive maintenance that costs $150 to $300. Compare that to a $500 tow bill when you're stranded in freezing weather. Fresh belts and hoses keep your engine running when the temperature drops. But there's one final tip that ties everything together, and it's something that can save you when everything else fails. Tip number 1, prepare a winter emergency kit. Here's the truth most drivers don't want to hear. No matter how well you maintain your car, winter can still leave you stranded. A freak snowstorm, black ice, a dead battery, it happens. And when it does, an emergency kit is the difference between a minor inconvenience and a life-threatening situation. Here's what needs to be in your winter kit. Start with the basics: jumper cables or a portable jump starter, flashlight with extra batteries, first aid kit, and a fully charged phone charger. Those are non-negotiables. Then add winter-specific items: a heavy blanket or sleeping bag, extra warm clothes including gloves and a hat, hand warmers, high-calorie snacks like protein bars, and bottled water. Now, here's what people forget. Add an ice scraper, a small shovel for digging out of snow, sand, or kitty litter for traction under your tires, and a bright cloth or road flares to make your car visible. I also throw in a multi-tool, duct tape, and a tow strap. Keep all of this in a waterproof container in your trunk. Check it at the start of winter to make sure nothing's expired or damaged. And here's a detail that could save your life. Tell someone your route when you're driving in bad weather. If you do get stuck, they'll know where to look for you. A winter emergency kit might seem like overkill until the moment you need it. Then it's everything. Your car is ready, your supplies are packed, but there's one more thing that most mechanics never mention, and it's the easiest way to extend the life of every component we just talked about. Bonus tip: let your engine warm up properly. Now, I'm not talking about idling for 20 minutes like your grandfather used to do. That's actually bad for modern engines. But here's what most people get wrong. They start their car and immediately drive off hard, revving high, accelerating fast. In winter, that's killing your engine. Here's what happens. When your engine sits in freezing temperatures, the oil drains back into the pan and thickens up. The first 30 seconds after startup, critical components are running with minimal lubrication. Add high RPMs and heavy load to that, and you're wearing out bearings, pistons, and cylinder walls faster than you realize. Now, here's the right way to do it. Start your car and let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds. That's it. Just enough time to let the oil pressure build and start circulating. Then drive gently for the first 5 to 10 minutes. Keep RPMs low, avoid hard acceleration, and don't push the engine until the temperature gauge shows it's warmed up. This single habit will extend the life of your engine, transmission, and every fluid system by years. And it works for every component we talked about today. Gentle warm-ups reduce stress on your battery, belts, hoses, and even your brakes. It's the easiest maintenance tip that costs nothing and protects everything. Winter car maintenance might seem like a lot, but skipping these steps can leave you stranded in dangerous conditions and cost you thousands in repairs.